Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Moin. Hello people, welcome to the internet. You see there's a Jerry. Hello Deadly Demon Sub Tuffy. Need to hello Dark Dunnigan, thank you for the sub. Hello Rumbly. One word of technical emphasis before everything else. It's totally possible that the stream suddenly ends. Reason: my internet is on a very thin wire that's just next to my door here. And as of today, we have 2 tiny cats.
Oh.
So if they decide to press their way into my room while we're streaming, it's within the realm of possibility that the internet goes kabooey.
We all knew the risks.
Yeah, so I will be putting out cat pictures after stream.
I mean, if you're not going to get in the hot tub and get your baps out, then the only other way you're going to get views is by using a cat. Just hang them like a pair of furry dice.
Maybe next week when they have gotten used to us. Jerry is very quiet. Yeah, I've pushed up his levels as high as can be. I don't know what Skype is up to. Skype is on full tilt.
Let me check my Skype on my side, because I didn't think it was me. But Skype is, after all, shit, which is why everybody uses Zoom to Skype people. So, if I say audio settings, and I go, what microphone are you using? No, still the one I'm using, and it's doing the up and down.
Yeah, I'm also getting your audio, but for me it's still audible, but it's a bit quiet. Let's see if I can use the advanced properties and go past and boost the audio a bit.
That's just asking for trouble.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
You haven't got me muted or something, have you?
No, people can hear you, but obviously seem to be a bit on the quiet side for whatever reason. Yeah, the volume is at plus 4 dB and doesn't seem to make any lick of difference.
It's still set at maximum, and when I talk, I can see it heading.
Yeah,
I'm ups all the way to maximum. So
I'm totally blaming either Windows or my Skype on my side. Wait a second. If we go here. How's that, people?
Am I closer? You mean closer than there, right at my mouth? Because the only closer would be in my mouth. At which point I'm fairly certain it would be worse.
So for some odd reason now it's better for audience. For me, there hasn't been much of a change. So this seems to be reasonable now. A cup on a string, that would be a very long string.
Very long.
I'm guessing we're fine now.
So you think? Oh, even though Skype's currently in use. Well done, you. Well, I'm not going to do any more. I can't be arsed. My work here's done.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. Potentially, I'm going to have some ears ringing tonight because the main audio is getting pushed also. But bloody hell, what the fuck?
Wow. Oh. Who knows?
Let this be. Still quiet, but a bit louder now. There, well, we'll leave it at that. We'll try to make adjustments next times.
I won't.
But I might try to look into things.
You do you. I'm just saying I won't.
Try Semaphore.
Try what? Who? Where?
We need clackers. Hell, man.
Oh, clackers would be amazing.
So, I think you were so kind as to look up some project we can look at tonight.
Yep. Do you want to start? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, why not?
Fuck me.
People are still waiting
Oh my god.
impatiently.
Oh, it's an outrage. All right then.
Okay. There's my window button.
Fucking awesome. Seamless. Stuck together with the finest DJ glue. So Zoid Pinhead has been working on his Age of saga. We looked at this a little while ago when he was just starting to try the first one, I think, using speed paints.
Mm-hmm.
And had played a game with some filthy Thebans. Oh, Jesus, the Thebans, just the worst. Fucking around with Hercules Club. Anyway, since then, he's gone off and done a proper city-state Sparta. Obviously, the amount of Spartan was just obviously too huge for him, and he couldn't contain all that Spartan goodness in his life, so he had to sell them all once he painted them. But Jerry's volume has just corrected itself, if you say so. But
I'm guessing it's that OBS is completely fucked because OBS did an update two days in a row now. And I just, since I heard my saga was very slow, I pulled up OBS sound, and that somehow seemed to make things worse. Well, we'll try to adjust on the fly.
If you say so. So, I don't think he specifically says where the miniatures come from. However, to my eye, and because I own some of them are definitely Wargames Foundry. Shields are probably Wargames Foundry as well, as far as the embossed Lambda shields go that you've just gone past. But these spears aren't, because Foundry never did the cast spears like that. Now, obviously, clever people like myself would spend a productive 2 days working out how to tie wire along the spear haft to get a realistic leather effect. I think he's just bought his from someone, which is cheating in many respects, cheating. But I think it shows that you can bash out a really nice Saga / Clash of Spears force in none too long space of time. Speaking of Saga, have people noticed that Studio Tomahawk are working on a World War II game?
Mm-hmm. Why would they do that?
I have no idea.
Potentially make money.
Saga Age of World War II.
At that point, the title gets a bit long.
They have said it's not Saga. However, they did have the Saga measuring sticks on their playtest table, but it uses D6, D8, D10. So that'll be interesting to see.
So it's not Saga World War II.
Yeah. It may be something more musket and tomahawky. But yeah, I just really like seeing the Spartans, including things like the over-the-top elite unit with their white shields, and every fucker's got a transverse crest. It's like he saved them all up.
Potentially he has.
Well, that's not true, actually. They don't all have transverse crests, but enough of them do.
And also he's currently selling these.
Oh, no, they're already gone. It was due to finish last weekend.
Oh, okay.
So, if you're reading this, they're already gone, I imagine.
Oh,
well, it's depending on what you sell them for. I think some of them may be plastics as well.
I think the spears have been mentioned earlier on. Wargames Foundry, Aventine Miniatures, Cast Weapons, AW03.
There you go then.
Cast Imputer.
Yeah, they always say that. That's not really. Because they're not allowed to put lead in it anymore because fucking retarded children used to chew on them and then get more retarded or something. I don't know what it is. It's really annoying. Children are the bane of my existence. Everything would be so much better if companies would just go, you know what? If your child's stupid enough to fucking eat it, maybe it deserves to be, hospitalized or fucking buried. I shouldn't have to deal with poor quality metal castings because some cunts can't stop their child from fucking lead in its mouth.
Well, there is a a reasonable request to remove all security warnings from certain things for a given time to reduce popularity.
Yeah, just let nature find a balance. I'm
Yeah.
100% on board with that. I see no problem with it.
Oh, welcome, Duck. When did you sneak in? Also, Subdudger Dave Hubbattle.
Sponsor Spark today. Good times. Anyway, yeah. So just a little one, just a little gentle Spartan-esque one to break you in. So much better than this. I can't believe he sold the fucking Spartans and kept the Thebans. Like, shocking, absolutely shocking. Anyway, I digress.
You underestimate my sneakiness. Yeah, I'm totally doing that. And also, I'm not looking at chat all the time because reasons.
Phoenix and chat, you can't scroll.
Yeah.
Also, Doug, I imagine, Doug, you just insinuate yourself. Like Nobby Knobs. Insidious. Shall we?
Mm-hmm.
This one I picked, speaking of Discord like wizardry. Look at the fucking state of those things.
That's a very pink wizard if I've ever seen one.
Fuck yeah. Only yeah, but fuck yeah. So, Danley had started doing a fight against Raging Heroes, but I think at some point you've just got to throw your hands up and go, even with their delays most months, they still release a fuck ton of stuff every month, and nobody will ever keep up with that. However, in between, we've got a whole host of other bits and pieces cropping up. These are from Warplock, although not Warplock anymore, Warp Miniatures, something like that. It was too difficult to make people spell large words, I think. Fuck's sake, people.
Yeah.
Know why they can't spell large words? Because they fucking chewed on lead.
This is going to be a theme for tonight, isn't it?
Jesus Christ. Might be, well, it wouldn't be if people just knuckle down and tell people to fuck right off when they try and take it away.
Yeah, that's your right, but don't tell Jerry.
Well, it's best not to pay attention to him. Could go either way. But, interesting set of figures.
This is a very blue drummer.
Well, he would be, wouldn't he? He's got those giant anal beads around his neck as well, so he's probably one of those Oni demony types from the East. He's got a three-way yin-yang.
That's a lot of drums to carry behind your back.
You know.
Or is that some kind of hula hoop he's then just going...
Well, he'd put them around his waist, but he probably can't get them past his horns.
Well, he steps from into the ring and just pulls it up.
Oh, pulls it up. Oh, yeah, that could work. Let us know how you wear your hula hoop of drums.
And how difficult is it comparing to an ordinary hula hoop ring on a scale from 1 to are you serious?
Pop it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
You what?
Start a conversation. What? Hey.
Welcome! Hello, this is Marco.
Chernobog, the Black God. I really liked him in American Gods, being played by Peter Stormare. Everybody's favourite go-to foreigner. We need a European to be slightly creepy and evil. Fetch me the Swede. That's what they say.
You think there's some kind of what were they called, these card holders that go in the circles? Not Filofax.
Rolodex.
Rolodex, yeah.
Fuck, you're old if you can remember that.
I even have a Filofax.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
Oh, God. Yeah. Hello, Zork. Hello, Jill. Engaging.
Cabe's just scored for Airdrie. Well done, him. If he does have a wank first name. Hello, Emma. But yeah, just a whole host of
very lovely looking miniatures.
Great looking miniatures and nice paint jobs on them as well. And not just the sort of, it's not just a standard here's an army, here's a blah, here's a whatever. I quite like the. I think it was Warren or Lloyd saying, individual project for everything, so I can find X, Y, and Z when I'm looking for it. But I like the eclectic ones. It's a nice change of pace, particularly like that, where decided to match it up to some sort of quartzy-looking stone clock.
I was trying to make heads of tails why there's a clock all of a sudden, but then, yeah, okay, I see it.
That's how you get the thing. You can read in there. It's those in between the pictures where there's those jointy uppy bits of black and white. They're what we call words.
What?
And they explain what's going on there.
Yeah, now you're pulling my leg. Now you're lying to me.
No. Includes things like stippling and everything. Names a lot of GW paints, which just amuse me so much now these days. Bear with me while I. So, I applied darker tones of ever-decreasing size of blobs of Teclis blue, Calidor sky, and Mordian blue. So that's an elf that doesn't exist for a game that doesn't exist, another elf that doesn't exist for a game that doesn't exist, and Mordian blue. Does the Mordian Iron Guard still exist in 40k? I can't remember the last time I've seen them mentioned. Not when they could be mentioning wherever those fucking idiots with the eyeball glasses, the Storm Pestuous, Tempasti, Tempura Battered fucks.
So you're saying as soon as a race gets a named color, that's the death sentence?
It's just the fact that their paint names all match stuff that doesn't exist anymore. There must be like 3/4 of the thing, and people don't have a fucking clue what it is. But they've stuck with these fucking names. It's like, why bother? Why call something moot green when you haven't got a halfling anywhere, and you don't have a fucking moot anymore either? For fuck's sake, you can't.
I'm guessing that's because those names are already copyrighted and they don't need to shell out another bag of money to copyright something new.
It must just say so fucking confusing for the kids.
Can I just say I love these little whatever these are.
The little fire things, little MP fire elementals.
They look so nice. So happy.
Both those, the little ghosts, the little ethereal things.
The blue ones from earlier. Yeah, those are nice too.
Minions. Especially I quite like the bubbling teapot, the chicken in a hat. I mean, great. Not so great that it would ever convince me to buy a 3D printer, but if they made them in resin at some stage. I'm just waiting for Wolfie to pop into the chat.
What is on front left this year? I can't make heads or tails from it.
We go back. Click again.
What could that be?
Whatever it is, I think it's facing the wrong way for us.
Potentially.
Because otherwise...
So I see the teapot, a frog, a fish with the legs, a flying eye.
Chicken in a hat.
And magic staff.
Yep.
The cape in the background and the skull in the head. But what the...
If it wasn't for the shitty looking end that looks like a gem plugged into it, I would have almost said a genie's lamp. Because it almost has that spout look. But then the stopper in the end, I suppose, maybe corking the end of it. No, that doesn't make sense either. Somebody somewhere will probably explain it. It's a hand walking on its fingers. Is it? It doesn't fucking look. Oh, man. Is it a hand from somebody who was exposed to thalidomide in the womb? Is that what it is?
I guess that's the index finger pointing down, the thumb to the right of the picture, and the rest fingers are potentially going back so that we can't see them. It would make sense.
Why has it got penises on it then?
That's for a completely different story.
Going up there.
Maybe that's some kind of elaborate tattoo.
I know what a hand looks like. I'm a big fan of the Addams Family. Have been since I was a kid, and at no point would I have said that's a hand.
It's not it. It's Cold Hand, or is it Cold Hand?
Thing. It was the cousin.
Yeah, was the hairy one.
Yeah. But yeah. All right, and so penis hand. Do you?
So it's the
Henry?
decapitated hand from Mickey Mouse without gloves.
Oh, I have no idea. It's not right. If it's a hand, it belongs to fucking Prince Charles. His big fuck off sausage fingers. Sausage fingers.
King Sausage Fingers. We've heard it here for the umpteenth time.
It just doesn't do any 3D printing. Shay and John do all the 3D printing, but at the same time, 3D prints are shit.
Justin says he will do printing for Warren.
Oh yeah, he says it all the time. It doesn't have a 3D printer though. 3D printers in the office belong to Shay and John, who've bought them and leave them there because they can run them overnight without fear of burning their house down.
Wasn't there a shop-owned 3D printer prior?
Oh, there was like 5 of them. I think they were all broken through ineptitude.
Oh.
There's a very expensive FDM one called, I want to say, a Predator. It's like fucking huge. It's like the size of Shay. And it has 3 independent axes, so it can print up to like 0.5 meter tall. And like the print bed's like fucking 40 centimeters round or something. It's completely shagged. I think they printed one thing out of it. Completely fucked it. Or are they actually metals? They're not part of his terrible STL thing. Oh, that wouldn't be too bad then.
I'll see. Speaking of decapitated hands, where do we go next?
Next, you want more?
Next.
Easy for you to say.
Nemesis. Painting Intruders by Taochi.
Taochi. It's pronounced Taochi.
Okay.
Possibly. I don't know.
Looks like I think I have seen these before. Strike a vibe.
Well, the vibe is clearly Geiger or Giger, depending on however that mad bastard pronounced it himself.
I think he was never sure himself.
That's probably the vibe you're seeing there. But outside of the vibe, the game was fairly popular. I think when it hit, like, I don't know if it went public or if it was just Kickstarter. If it went retail rather, but the board game is meant to be very good. Sorry, I thought there might be a goal there.
It's definitely a different kind of alien design, like every other one has. It's a bit more horror-esque.
Ah, you know. You say horror, I say potato.
But if you're scared of the potatoes, then that's fine by me.
Scared, mostly sickened by them. But there was an awful lot of people eaten to death by the alien. We never got to see what the alien looked like after eating the shit out of them. So, you know, a bloody maw makes sense. But it's an interesting one because the model count for it is relatively small. Oh, it's in retail. Okay, cool. So yeah, the model count is pretty much what we're seeing here, plus then the heroes, and I think they've got a space cat as well. But then the game itself is played on a very small board with just 1 million cards. It's one of those. It's like, well, probably not like Fantasy Flight Games game because people actually seem to enjoy it, but it does have all the fucking cards in Christendom. Good old Durs. Like these Durs boys. Is that what you're saying? Get in with the aberration, boyo.
Oh, well, they even have a wheelchair riding Dr. X-like figure.
Wait, would they? Because if things get really bad, you just turn them around and push them into them before fleeing. But I like what Taochi
Meals on wheels
with the painting as well, because it has that alien feel of the almost sort of mechanical, strange metallic looking thing without actually going for the metallics. There's just those nice spot colors of the blues, the pinks, the reds coming in here and there.
Has Lloyd seen this? These pictures are gigantic. Just look at how big this
Yep.
gets.
Sure. That's what the site's there for. Why else would we be paying that amount of money for hosting every year?
Don't know.
I don't either. But I heard the price the other day. I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah, web space is bloody expensive. At some point, you're cheaper off hosting your own server. Buying a piece of hardware and putting it in some provider's rack.
Well, I did hear that. It's like, wow, because the alternative is probably sacking me. But I don't want to sack me.
We wouldn't want to have you sacked.
Sack me and Shay, actually. I'd need him to balance out the rest. Competing with AI server space these days, well, that's true. Don't worry, we'll probably move to a position where it's just AI images of what we think miniatures look like and what we think AI games will be in the future.
And
we won't have to worry about anything.
Warren will be all over it.
Oh, he'll be rubbing himself silly. He'll be like John Cleese in A Fish Called Wanda.
As long as he doesn't start speaking Spanish or something. Yes, Demons Up, that's where your cup of coffee goes.
I still remember when they were complaining about the price of hosting the backstage stuff on Vimeo.
Oh.
And the next day, I dropped an hour-long snow tutorial as a jerry can.
Well, it's one of the best tutorials out there on that subject.
Oh god, yeah. There's no point fucking around.
And also a very comprehensive list. I think there's not much you left out.
Nothing that I would do anyway.
Had you also included glass shards? I think yes.
I don't know if I included them, but certainly talked about them. I have a thing where I'm not entirely certain what's in it, and it could be ground glass from Precision Ice and Snow, who I don't think make anything anymore. So, but anyway, yeah, it's a very nice little weird batch of blobby aliens with a lot of weird creepiness going on.
It would be nice to see the board finished with a human or whatever bipedal force that is.
Well, like I say, that the miniature count is relatively small. That looks like most of the Gribbly Nemesis types, which means I think it's just like 5 or 6 human models, and then the board is just like a black board about, I wouldn't even say it was 2A4 side by side. So, it's fucking tiny, but
as long as there's fun had.
Oh yeah, Bal report Dutch. That makes perfect sense. I mean, bad stage, you have them all done. I think he's coming over in like 2 or 3 weeks' time. I have a sneaking suspicion I'm meeting him up for drinks. And showing around the studio just after we get back from UKGA. So I should probably book that time off. I should probably check my messages actually and double check. Anyway.
Maybe you already did?
No. I would have remembered. Because he's, yeah. Anyway, I digress. It doesn't matter. Move on.
Where do we go on?
What's going on? Who are you?
I think there's a new project on the horizon.
More aliens, you say?
Yes, very odd-looking stuff.
Yep. Oh, I like the very odd-looking stuff. I'm all here for the very odd-looking stuff.
Are your brains doing older knits?
Yeah, well, part of Spring Clean Challenge, decided to dig out some of his old minis that have been kicking around, finish off units, and touch up some of the others, which means there's a lot of small things in his future. What started out as 30 gaunts has ended up as 70 gaunts and 4 Ripper bases. So once they're based, he's going to lay it all out so we can see what it looks like. But there's some interesting bits and pieces in there. The Tyrannocyte, the big, massive, floating, whatever the fuck that is, polyp, maybe, is particularly gratifying to see.
It really reminds me of some kind of bioconstruct from a video game, but I can't put my finger on it.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's an alien flesh light, Just Go for your gun, Sam.
So you're saying Dragon Dildo should keep a lookout on the NIDS?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm surprised they haven't been sued yet by GW already. But anyway, when we head to the very bottom, you'll see the state of play of where they were when he sort of dug them out of the box that they've been languishing in.
Oh, look. How to paint Citadel miniatures.
Yeah, it comes with a DVD apparently. I've no idea how new that book is. Because for a moment, I thought it was the old one that showed you how to paint orcs grey. Oh, I fucking hated that book. But this is a more recent version that includes a DVD. And now I'm fucking fascinated. What's on that DVD? What's happening? What's going on?
Well, it still says Warhammer, so it predates Age of Sigmar.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Lord of the Rings, Whamster, and 40k. The Citadel, how to paint. They do one like regulars clockwork every 8 or so years. You'll get another spiral-bound book of nonsense. But curiosity strikes me, you know.
I think I also have these, what they're called again, thermoguns, somewhere kicking in the box.
You're right, David.
From an old core set from 40k. Zerg. Yeah. Who knew?
Particularly Zerg. That's that thing by those people. I know them. Don't know what Zerg is because I've never actually played StarCraft or looked at it, but I know it exists.
Well, it's basically NIDS. Literally. It's just a one-to-one carbon copy.
Oh well. Nice to see somebody else making money off GW.
Wasn't the origin story of StarCraft actually Games Workshop was wanting to make a real-time strategy game, and then at the last minute drew out, and Blizzard said, yeah, we can't let these resources go to waste, and then did their own game from it? I think that's how the myth is.
As far as I know, it was Warcraft.
Yeah, Warcraft.
It was the fantasy version.
Yeah, you're right.
And then GW went, nah, go our own way.
I'm getting my crafts mixed up.
But you know, keeps our mischief off the streets, I suppose.
Sometimes. So after NIDS comes. What does come after NIDS?
What's after NIDS? More NIDS. Different
More
NIDS.
NIDS?
Sticking with that GW feel.
Spring Cleaning Challenge by Zebra Outrider.
Yes. Sweet.
Oh, that's nice.
Sweet like candy.
Baron Otto von Auerswald, veteran swordsman, unit size 17. The Baron's Bolters, unit size 16.
So.
That's very convenient.
Right off the bat, the original Empire plastic multi-part set made halberdiers, made swordsmen. Then they started releasing box sets with a little blister pack of metal that made handgunners, made crossbowmen, shit like that. So you can make your various state troops. Weirdly, the only thing you couldn't make from them were spearmen.
Well, maybe Games Workshop thought you wouldn't need to do those because you actually have, what you call it.
Would you not have spearmen?
Yeah, but you need to do a accessories proof for spearmen because everybody has some kebabs sticks flying around.
These are the ones that the Perrys sculpted into pikemen for their own historic games, and they showed them in White Dwarf, and then they had to put a disclaimer at the bottom that Michael and Alan weren't actually sculpting them for release. It was just for their own personal project. Now that is an amount of dust that I can appreciate on a model sitting on a thing. It's like, yep. How long has that been sitting up there waiting to be finished? Dusty.
Sometime.
So I occasionally will end up with models that look like they've been zenithed because I primed them black and then there's so much dust has settled on them.
Oh, I'm guessing that's how zenithal priming was actually discovered. Somebody letting his black primed stuff sitting on the shelf and then going, this gives me an idea. But actually, I think at this point, at this amount of dust coverings, I would just have gone and varnished this over and say, yeah, these are infested troops.
You weirdo.
Yes.
We want infested troops. So there's a lot to be said about these. Obviously, miniatures are great. We've got the Imperial hero from Wamster Quest as well as a leader, but also it's been done in Everland. You know, the best of all the Imperial states. I mean, if you're going to do one, you do Everland. Anything else is just ridiculous. And base fillers, yeah.
Almost turnip 28 level of dust. Yeah, I think that's about it.
There's some cracking bits and pieces. Base fillers, they're all good as well. Further down, you'll get like a whole montage of lots of angles of the unit, so you can see them from above and behind and sideways and all sorts.
Yeah, that's quite a sight. Also, I'm guessing this, after having all these dusted off and finished, this must be a very relieving feeling of getting shit done. Oh, bless me.
Oh no.
See, I'm allergic to dust. I'm just seeing that picture makes my nose itch.
If you say so, Mr. Man. If you say so.
Horrible. A general with his trusty dog? Wolf? Whatever?
Yes. Leon Lysick. Dogs of War Mercenary General. £3 for blister pack. Great.
Hammer Horror, House of Cards, EastEnders, and the Singing Cornetto Policeman.
He has swapped out the standard Empire horse that he came with for one of the old Bretonian horses. You tell it's old because it doesn't look like some sort of lunatic horse with massive shields glued to it.
Why would you glue shields to a horse?
There's Real Madrid 1-0 up. Say that. Look at them. The Al-Qatani pikemen. Fucking get in there. Huh? Fucking get in.
The pikemen of no.
Yes, he has renamed them. I looked that up because he did a little banner for them as well. And it's the Italian word for prick or stab. And he conjugates the verb to prick on their banner. It's like, I prick, you prick, he pricks, they prick.
You prick?
Which, I mean, touches like that, fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a shame that those jokes need to be explained to most people, including me, because I'm so bad at foreign languages.
Oh, I once I seen it was Pugno, and then I seen the banner. I went, well, clearly he's conjugating a verb there. So all it was 2 seconds to look it up, and it looks like it's something in Latin scribbled on a banner. So you don't really worry about it too much. But then if you don't get it, you don't get it. But it looks real, looks official. The Galloper gun, cracking, absolutely cracking. I have 4 of them because there was a bit of a grey area in the book as to whether or not you could have 3 or 4 in a unit. There was a hard cap, and it was either Bronzino with a Galloper gun and then 3 additional Galloper guns, or it was Bronzino and up to 3 Galloper guns. I felt it best just to have 4 to be on the safe side in case I could field 4.
Pugnat, pugnamums, pugnatis, pugnant.
I took better on these than they did the horses in the Coronation Saturday.
I couldn't tell. I totally blanked on Coronation thingamajig.
You're not missing anything. But yeah, so I mean, Bronzino standard color scheme, Everland Swordsman Crossbowman standard color scheme, Pike different because the standard color scheme for those was bronze with a lot of red crests on. I quite like blue. It wouldn't be my choice. I probably wouldn't do it on my own, except I sold my unit of 80 of them years ago. But I
But
like it as a different look.
Yeah, it's a splat of color you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, and presumably it's for a specific reason beyond the I just don't like red. Time will tell. Maybe it'll be a coherent theme throughout the rest of the Dogs of War. I also like that the base fillers are cracking. It's interesting because I never really seen people do base fillers like that. Normally they would like take a 4x4 square in the back and stick a big fucking log or something. But I like the idea of just going, see this side, this one file down the side. We're not gonna ignore that. That's gonna have fucking nobody in it. We're gonna have a tree branch in it. We're just gonna be marching past it, and then just have the rest of the unit, so you don't have a big weird gap in the middle. It's just off to one side of the unit, and I think I appreciate that more. I wish I'd thought about that whenever I was still playing fantasy competitively.
Well, you could start playing a old age thingamajig, Old World. That's the one.
Yeah, no. Did you not see The Weekender?
I can't remember. I guess I have. I potentially have even answered some questions, but then again,
whenever they were going, oh, but you could just play yours or rebase yours or put them on thing. And my response was, they're all playing a Panathor now.
oh
Fuck,
yeah,
they'll be in the old world.
and you didn't even need to rebase them.
Yep. Well, I didn't. I did though, but I didn't have to. If I wanted to keep them as is, if I had any plans to sell my fantasy armies at some point and wanted to keep them on their original slaughter bases, but as it is, they're all being transferred to multi bases. So. It's a grip log. Could be a grip log. But anyway, yeah, just really interesting little thing. Dogs of War, not a huge amount of people had them because it was an entirely metal army, and by that stage, GW were pushing plastic hard, like it was fucking going out of fashion. So it was an expensive army to start. So I do appreciate whenever I see them crop up. Fans of the old Dogs of War, just we'll never leave it.
I seem to remember that they weren't available for a long time, were they?
Oh, that it was a very small moment. They came in I'm going to say 6th, maybe 5th, and then never got a book update. So they were that codex/army book only existed for a little while, and then they phased it out. They just stopped selling them. So
Yeah,
like an edition and a half.
Something along those lines, because I remember that was the phase when I started with 40k and regularly reading the White Dwarf and seeing these and going, oh, those look nice, and I never saw them in real life, so my guess was, yeah, maybe they didn't sell.
Yeah, no, they were amazing. They were the best thing ever. It's never too late to paint your fantasy armies. Just play Kings of War with them.
Or just enjoy painting them and enjoy looking at them and put them on a shelf.
What? I don't.
Or something. Did you see the mass shooting celebrating the coronation?
I did, Crispin. I seen it kicking around an awful lot with something attached to what was it? Irish people after they're spotted watching the coronation. Is that the one you're talking about? A lot of bearskins. It's from London is Falling, the follow-up to Olympus is Fallen, or whatever it is.
The one in Texas. Well,
was that? Ah, well. I was aware that there was a shooting in Texas, and then I was also aware that there was a guy in Texas used his car to crash into. I think the guy who crashed into the people at the bus stop in his car killed more than the shooter did a few hours earlier. So I didn't realize it was part of it though. So that was good.
Weird.
It's nice to know that the colonies haven't forgot. Maybe they did it specifically because Megan couldn't leave.
You think that's any kind of coincidence there? I don't think so.
Mere go-getter.
Speaking of, do we get to see another project?
Manchester City domination. Yet they're 1-0 down.
Necromon Avanzares by Wobost. That's the weird little fellow that's streaming on Thursdays.
Yeah. This was interesting because I've not paid any attention to what GW laughably call Necromunda these days. So I've not paid any attention to the miniatures or anything beyond whatever gets shoved in my face on a weekend. But these look great. Not for Van Saar. Obviously, they're fucking ridiculous for Van Saar and Necromunda. They make no sense. But if you were looking to do something like the Sadakar Emperor's Guard from Dune, shit like that, these would be perfect for that. You know, high fantasy concept and sci-fi.
Also, I could see them work for Stargrave as a mercenary crew.
Yeah. I mean, anything except anything
Necromunda.
Right off the bat, they look like if they had that level of technology, the Space Marines would be coming to take it off them.
Or just mush them.
I've no idea why they've got robotic ponytails. They probably plug them in somewhere, like those avatar things. You know, they plug them into animals and have sex with them.
Oh, please don't remind me of that.
Well, the fact that they use their ponytails to control animals, but they also use their ponytails for sex.
Yeah.
Which means those avatars are all fucking those banshees.
All the time.
All the time. Those are anal beads. That's a weird place to have an anus, Crispin. You missed a massive set of anal beads earlier.
Or maybe this is just we are seeing this completely wrong. These aren't human bodies; these are cyborg bodies, and what's sticking out the back is the actual spine of the living tissue.
Oh, they're just floating heads.
Yes.
Attached to a robot.
Yes.
That is creepy. Hey. But yeah, that's
my headcanon now. Those are floating heads on robot bodies.
Yep. Oh, I bet believe it. But I like the look of it, especially for something that theoretically GW has made in the last decade. I mean, obviously it doesn't fit any of the aesthetic for 40k, and maybe that's why I like them. But they look like I've got a load of Studio McVeigh's sci-fi stuff, and they have that look to it. You know, high fantasy concept, sort of the armored suits with the sort of the underskin on them. They look fucking fantastic. You just need big red blood paint down each side to be as Fetty Keen. Did I get a box of Sedition Wars 2? Crispin, I got 3 boxes of Sedition Wars plus all the fucking add-ons, man. I have so many. I just don't know what the fuck I'm going to do with
them. Stash them?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the detailing goes, it has detail. They've just not gone boogly with it. I mean, the guns look like they could potentially be actual firing weapons. The armor has plates that look like it's set on in specific places to be armor plates. You know, nothing about them looks completely over the top. They're not fucking covered in skulls. It's bizarre. Theoretically, I'm just spitballing here, but I imagine the sculptor who did these was sacked immediately for not covering them in skulls and outlandish bits of wank.
Or maybe Warmost removed all that. No, he didn't.
No, I wouldn't do that. Seems excessive. Why the fuck would you do that? Anyway, yeah. Oh, I've impregnated them accidentally. Oh, that's another massive picture.
So, short little project here by our friend Paul.
Yeah. I'll also point out that he has a little YouTube link to some bloke talking about building Vansar gangs. However, it's not for Necromunda, it's for the new version of that game. Same name. Shit game. Just buy this. Just buy that copy of Necromunda up there that you can't see. But it's a hardback book and it contains supplements. It's all you need. Let's get that. Everything's in there. You can go up and down stairs and everything. It's fucking magical.
Up and down stairs?
Well, yeah. You didn't even need to buy a separate expansion to do it.
Hello, friends of General Haig. Well, that's almost my favorite part about this version of Necromunda, that they castrated the rules that much.
Shocking. Absolute shocking.
I mean, why would you do that?
Because then people have to buy a million supplements. If you just bought one £25 hardback rulebook that contained all the rules, then you don't have to buy anything else.
Yeah, but you could still sell miniatures, and that's the core place of the company, as of their own financial report. Sell minis.
Sure. Just need confirmation from White Dwarf 130 odd. It was earlier than that, I want to say. It's down there though, but I can't. I mean, literally, I can't get near those boxes. So many boxes. But yeah, confrontation is great. Anyway,
shall we move on?
Half time, in case people are wondering, still 1-0. English commentators are desperately trying to explain how Man City have dominated. You go, well, you're still fucking behind.
Nice runner. The Wolf of...
Oh,
what?
Wouldn't it be good if Man City just choked completely and fucking won nothing this season? No, because then that would give United a double. No. They can have the FA Cup. Yeah.
The Wolf of Languedoc? Whatever. How would you pronounce that?
Dead Zone's a great thing. Sorry, what? Who? What?
The title of the project. How would you pronounce that? Languedoc?
Yes. It's a region in France. Well, they had 65% possession. So, Dead Zone, I think Dead Zone's a much better game. Just tell them to play Dead Zone. And then whenever they start whining about it, go, look, you can buy your ridiculously expensive GW figures and just play with the Dead Zone rules. Anyway.
Oh, look, a miniature falling off a cliff.
No, maybe. Difficult to say. There is a cliff involved. Really, I should have spun this one around and started from the bottom, but we're here at the top, so we're gonna have to work our way down. The idea behind it is another diorama, and the scenic base the diorama is made is kind of awesome to begin with, using a werewolf from Reaper, I think, and then Agincourt French from the Perrys to make the poor bastards who are presumably attempting to stop it from eating the villagers. I'm guessing they were sent out to do this thing, but there's been some lovely bits of sculpting to actually change up the figures from being the standard box set, because you want slightly more animated posing rather than just having
holding up a sword, warriors with a sword.
Yeah, well, they're not warriors moving en masse to engage more human warriors. They are, after all, people who are dealing with some sort of massive, huge, hairy beast. But this one is really good. There you can see I told you it could be a waterfall. Maybe he is being knocked off a waterfall. I like to imagine he's just about to be killed up by the werewolf, possibly knocked off his horse.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah, but who can say what way it's going? But even starting there, the initial scene from the diorama, just that little 3-step. Here's my flat bit of polystyrene, and then here's my built base, and here's my painted base. You go, oh my word, that's big. That's big. Corker, isn't it?
It's a bit excessive.
It's not excessive at all. Nothing excessive about it, son. You shut your mouth.
Still not completed, so
don't make me come over there.
Oh, I would love to have you over here. I would give you a beer and a hug and another beer.
Show all of you. But yeah, so the painting things like the werewolf is
It's an
I don't
interesting
want to
color
say
scheme.
yeah, but at the same time it has a very Bram Stoker's Dracula when he's fucking Lucy in the garden as a werewolf. It reminds me of that. I think it's because of the significant tone change on the sort of the skin parts of the wolf between that and the fur.
And here I am.
Not the Hitler juice.
I was reminded of the
Cheers, Chris.
what's it called? Frost trolls in Skyrim.
Okay, I don't know what they are. They
That's
look
fine.
like that. Be like one of those little monkeys with the super brown face and white fur. Or even
Me
better
giving
one.
Jerry a hug at my height would be a blowjob. well, there's an opportunity for everything.
Yep. But the setup in itself is terrific. But I really blown away by the sculpting, the repositioning and sculpting on the human infantry, because you can get away with quite a lot with terrain, and the fact that the werewolf is getting no supplemental changes at all. It's just being painted to stock. All the care and attention's being lavished on the humans, and they're the ones that, because we deal with humans on a semi-regular basis, you're more likely to spot issues with weird positioning, whereas, proof that the werewolf shouldn't have his hands up like that or whatever happens to be. You can get away with a lot with fantasy creatures, but this little merry band of let's face it, fucked Frenchies is
And
great.
also the added details are just lovely.
The paint job on top as well is just terrific.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the finished project.
Yes, I would see it next week. So that's good.
And then we will see if this poor sod is falling off a cliff or is already almost down the cliff.
See, I still think he's coming off the back of that horse, but you never know your luck. Or he could just be about to be battered away by the werewolf. I'm fascinated by that. If only there was some way we could ask him. Wondering what the blue stuff is he's using on the sculpting.
Didn't he say?
Not that I've noticed. Because obviously I've used green stuff, grey stuff, brown stuff, bees putty, milliput in all its various grades.
Maybe that's not a putty, but just plastic he cut in stripes.
I mean, it's possible, but it's on 2 or 3 other things at various sort of depths and stuff. So
yeah, but all these pictures with the, so these are just cut stripes. These could be just cut stripes, and even the what do you call it? The
horses' reins.
yes, those also look just like cut stripes. I'm sticking with it, no matter if it's true or not. I think that's just some plastic he cut off.
Why have they decided to be really fucking small when I click on them?
I don't know.
Bigger. I don't know either. Oh, there we go. That's better.
Maybe your computer wants you to get some decent glasses.
I've got glasses, but if I put them on, I can't see the screen without backing way the fuck up.
I'm pretty convinced that's just plastic he cut into strips.
I have to ask him.
If only there was a way of communication. Blue painter's tape, says James Scott. Now
It doesn't have the texture painter's tape does.
It's Some blue foil, I think, would be the place to go. But then again, who knows? We could ask him. Or we could just wait.
Yeah, the only thing that would have it not be strips of stuff, strips of plastic, is the fact it's so tight around specifically that model with the quiver of spears or lances or whatever the fuck they are, javelins on his back.
Maybe
You'd expect it to buckle. As anybody who's ever attempted to wrap a piece of plastic, because it's got thickness on it that the others don't. But on that one, it does look like plastic on the actual quiver itself. You know,
the quiver could be that he integrated it with the grey stuff that he's used for modeling that.
Time will tell. If he doesn't give us an answer, I'll ask him.
We'll send him a carrier pigeon.
That's how that one goes.
Just tie them up and torture them until you get the answer. That's a form of communication. Yes, Manda, that's a form of communication. A very, very long-lived tradition of communication.
Yeah.
Next.
Nuts. Whole hazelnuts. Cadbury's take them and cover them chocolate.
Dorpenhead completed a project we've been visiting on and off again.
Yeah, I wasn't certain if you'd been here since the completion.
I don't think so.
But I felt that we should at least come back here and give him his dues, because, you know.
No, I seem to have not visited him in a long time.
So, Celtiberian, nice mix of figures. Again, Foundry, doing the Lord's own work for 40 plus years. Foundry represent. Obviously, it didn't start as Foundry. It all started as Games Workshop / Sidell Miniatures. Yeah, basing is a problem, but, you know.
That's the root of all evil, it seems, Games Workshop.
Yep. But it's really nice to see a whole batch of the Mad Bastards, I think, is the way to go. That thing up there that hasn't loaded has kind of loaded, because it won't load, because it's a video,
rambling.
But it's a video from
Instagram.
Yeah, which you know, the video embeds are for YouTube, and Instagram does something weird or different. But it's really nice seeing the full thing bestriding the tabletop. Another thing I like about the Foundry, I know Foundry often get knocked for being a bit small in comparison to things.
There's nothing wrong with being small.
Well, yeah.
Just ask Shake.
But yeah, but Shaken left his own body weight. He may be small, but he's just like a little powerhouse of a brick. But when you compare the Victrix plastics, their horses, to things like Foundry's, I much prefer Foundry's ones because they're more realistically scaled. Those Victrix horses are fucking enormous. I can't get past the size of the horses. You know,
well,
it's like every one of them is a Budweiser Clydesdale, for fuck's sake.
Well, there are different breeds of horses, so maybe give your commander a huge horse.
No.
Just to make him stand out.
No.
Why not?
Because 2,000 plus years ago, the horse breeds were much smaller. They had to be specifically bred to the things that we see in medieval times to be that fucking massively huge to carry a man in armor. Before then, they were little. It was like fucking you're being attacked by Shetland ponies. So yeah, the Victrix have one style of horse fits all, and it doesn't matter if it's a Scott Grey at Waterloo or a Republican Roman.
Shire horses.
They're all fucking enormous.
Yeah, Demon Sub, I could see Shire horses. That's why they had chariots. Horses were too small. That sounds reasonable.
Yep. So
Victrix breed fed on Weetabix.
oh, they are no. It's my one criticism of Victrix is the size of those horses every time. Massive, absolutely massive. But hey.
I think that's a problem with the perception of something from today's standpoint and then projecting it to something that has been. It's just like you see videos from the 30s and 20s, 1920s, 1930s, and you go, yeah, the whole world was black and white. No, it wasn't. You just can't see it anymore.
Yeah, you're right, Andy. The smaller Scottish nag, the ones that have escaped being sausaged or haggis, because especially when you get, because it's the same. There's a specific name for them, as I was advised the other day while watching the classic Vikings film with Kirk Douglas, and they're writing about the place in allegedly Scandinavia, and they have these little tiny little hairy pony things, and they are correct for both the period and the country, because when you get shit areas that are not full of massive green pasture land like Scotland, Scandinavia, you tended to have smaller horses because they needed to be sort of more like mountain goats.
And now I'm thinking dwarves.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously, James, you just slam in big fuck-off steel spears as soon as you get them to do yourself as much of an injury as possible. That is key. But another good thing about Zoid's little saga army there, as he goes down through it, apart from pointing it all up and showing us it in glorious Lloyd-like shots as well, he also credits the companies as well, so you can look at it and go, well, those are a mixture of Crusader and Gripping Base, those are all Crusader, those are Foundry. And when you're putting together armies, especially historic ones where there are so many companies out there, one of the questions I used to get a lot was, does X match Y? Can you put Aventine and Foundry together in the same unit? But theoretically, yes, but I wouldn't. But it's nice to be able to look at it and actually just be able to say, oh, those are nice. They work well with those, which means those two ranges should be fairly sort of mix and match. Don't think much of why. So yeah, nice to see it. And the full warband. Look at it. Gorgeous. A nice, what's that? 4-mounted Hearthguard. That's filth right off the bat. And 4-foot hard. He builds in the same way I build, which is excessive, more than you will ever need. But then it gives you options. So,
every potential option to be prepared for every opportunity.
Also means you can play one side off against the other. You can split the force in half and teach somebody without too much of a trouble.
Teach somebody never to play you again.
If you've both got the same faction and the same army, it's a very good way. They can just copy you. Great way to annoy people.
So where do you next to annoy more people?
Probably over here. Have you looked at the vampire elves from Warmonger / Foundry, Nick? Because that is a beautiful range. And really different from anything elven that you'll see out there.
I feel a theme, a
right.
saga-like theme.
I know it. Don't know where you're getting them from. Show your mouth. So this is still theoretically active, and therefore I want to see more, which is one of the reasons why I'm here creeping on him. But there's some really nice stuff that Ghost Bear's been doing.
That's an interesting transfer. I hope this is a transfer.
It is a transfer. It's little big man. They do a whole range of these crazy-looking Byzantine / late Roman sort of icon shields. When they really double down on the Jeebus. And strangely, I've done something similar. My Hearthguard have got the full-on look at us shields, and then my standard just have my standard infantry and cavalry have the Pax Rho. So they're a little bit Christian, but not the I've paid some punter to paint a whole triptych across my shield.
Look at my horse. My horse is amazing.
Yes, it is. The big Draco, and particularly nice set of stripes painted on that banner pole, or hoops rather, I suppose they would be. And anybody who's had to do that will know it's a right pain in the arse getting them to look somewhat consistent.
Is it?
Oh fuck yeah! You sit there and start painting whatever that is, 150 fucking hoops up that thing, and try not to get too out of whack as you go, because it'll send you screwy. I know my cataphracts have got them, and it's a bastard.
I think that's because you're using a paintbrush.
Well, I'd use my fingers, but then you'd only get like 3 per standard because it'd be too big.
Yeah, but I'm thinking
For all the miniatures you paint. That's very close to how I do it, actually.
If you paint that in one color and then use something like the thin Tamiya masking tape and just go in circles and then add another color over that and then remove the Tamiya masking tape, that should be rather correct. Same difference between every ring.
But then if you're going to do that, to get the exactitude that you're talking about there, what you have to do is put a ring of masking tape on, put a ring of masking tape on, put a ring of masking tape on, do that all the way down, and then go back and remove every other ring of masking tape so that your masking tape gives you your spacing.
Yes.
Fuck that. Especially when I've got 2 units of cataphract cavalry, so I've got 20 of the bastards.
Okay, if you're doing multiple of these, I can see your point. I was just getting
that.
From just making one.
I can't describe enough how much fuck that. Where are you? You, my cataphract cavalry.
Oh, look, he's got the golden button in September 2017.
Yep. Yeah, he did.
Oh,
yeah.
jeebus.
Yeah, but it says active, and therefore I want to see more. Fucking million of the little bastards. Still haven't even finished this. I really should finish. They are so close to being finished. I'm just being lazy now. I started these before he started that project, though. So. Look. More little big man transfers. The gift gamers everywhere. The gift gamers everywhere.
Is this 17? Did he all do these? Oh, no.
No, he goes into 2018.
Okay.
We got a completed point of Hearthguard. And I know we've got Levy for his late Romans. And then after that, I don't think we spent enough time battering him, because that's 2 points plus a warlord. You can't play a fucking game with that. But I can see other undercoated stuff in the background, which means potentially this is done. Because he's had years. I'm just saying, he has had years.
Yeah, potentially it's all done and he just needs to take some pictures.
Oh, yeah. That's why we're here.
Take some pictures, Ghost Beer, and then put them up in the project system. So, I think we have some more. Please, sir, can I have some more?
I suppose so. Since you asked so nicely. So.
Amazon's Munder's Tribune. So this is a Republican Roman warband. Or...
Well, could be Saga.
Well, she says it in her description of the project, so...
Don't have to restrict yourself to just Saga. Obviously, if you had them on square bases, it would open up so many more games to you. Just saying.
And we're back to square one.
Just saying.
Not putting any pressure on you, but have you thought about using square spaces?
If you've got a chisel, you could just take a chunk off the front and back of those pill-based cavalry, and they'd be already fixed. Bam.
I was exactly thinking the same in the second you said that. If those were oval bases, you would be, well, you could make it work with a tiny model table saw, but this would be way easier. Just cut front and end off.
But again, another one that they allege to me is a work in progress.
Well, to be fair, she has a lot of projects in progress. Why do these not wear pants? Why are there pantless warriors within this project?
Why would they?
Because they're dressed from the waist up, so they could just have pants.
Why would they invent trousers? They've already got the toga and the tunic. They're good
Pants!
to go. They're fine.
We need pants.
Don't need pants. They just send you the historical documentary Up Pompeii.
No.
And you would see exactly how that goes. But some really nice standard figures. You've got your levies, you've got some horsemen and stuff. But the real standout bits in this project for me
are the naughty bits.
Are not the naughty bits. You filth wizard.
Oh, now you're just complimenting me.
The equites coming screaming through the trees look absolutely great. There's a really nice tutorial on painting horses, along with a chunk of
research.
Research, yeah. Showing, and this is the one, whenever you're painting horses, it's like, what color? I know, well, it's really easy.
Brown.
Here is the colors, the allele frequency of colors of horses in areas at different periods. So you can look at it and go, well, you know, should I have X, Y, or Z? You know, you're not going to be having the grey chestnut sort of duns that have been, you know, like patchwork thing that you would see in the Old West. But the dappled, or what are they called, spotted, which is a very old version, sort of like a Dalmatian, was more popular than we see them sort of later on. So this is the sort of level of ridiculous research that I approve of as a man who spent a long time researching fucking hair color in Ireland in the 6th century. So yeah, I like this, and it's really good. Even if you don't use all of it, you can come in and just sort of broad stroke it. You can look at it and go, well, I want to do X, Y, or Z. You know, what Lloyd is constantly banging on about the Reconquest in Spain, and he's constantly looking at possibly doing a saga force for it. And you can look at it there and go, well, there's, you know, two sort of dominant colors that you're going to see. So it's really simple, because sometimes, especially when you're painting horses, going for multiple of the same colored horse feels wrong. You feel like you should have to mix them up more. But in reality, just going down the line and going, all you fucking nags are all brown. That's how it goes. This whole unit is brown. And you're going, it's not being lazy, it's actually being pretty accurate.
Would that be a thing to look out for at people playing historically correct armies and point out, yeah, you have way too many chestnutty horses in your cavalry unit?
Oh, people will, I'm sure. Don't worry about it. I mean, I could see a point if you were representing the Scots Greys at Waterloo. I mean, they have a name for a reason. So if all of a sudden all of the Greys were mounted on nothing but chestnut horses, as far as I could say, maybe. But
well, that would be easy to spot, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, don't worry, Jam. I'm sure at some point we will get a ton of pictures about the Reconquest, but you can never find any when he's on holidays, so we're safe so far. Somewhere in that country, there's bound to be like some massive museums and stuff about it.
And they have heard about him, and they are hiding.
Yeah, they just keep closing anytime he's in country. But yeah,
did you hear really that weird guy is coming again? Close the door, hide the women and children.
Every time he sort of kicks around, that's the time to dive in there and stop him. But yeah, close the wrong project. Close that project. The tutorial parts of this are excellent, not just on what colors you should be painting them, but what colors you can use to represent them. And likewise into the actual force list as well. So what to expect when you're doing your velites and Hestate and all the rest of it, what they were like, why people are creeping around there with a hoplon or aspis, aspal, can't remember. Anyway, but yeah, there's great little historical nuggets in there, which is another reason why I like doing historical stuff. Just you never know what you're going to come across.
Potential weird people and theories about stuff. Or aliens.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's aliens, but aliens.
It may be aliens.
Oh, and since we've been so long going, and I have made a new button I couldn't have used today because I'm missing a keyword. So, Jerry, could you just say the word quest for me, please?
Quest.
That took some work to find that original painting.
All you do is type in quest and spell it quest.
Yeah, but you get a lot. I wanted the exact picture that you used on the XLBS. So.
I keep myself amused. They kept talking about GW and 40k.
And quest.
Yeah, these people are on a quest. He's awesome. Awesome.
I think we're on to another adventure of Manda's stuff.
Another quest. Quest.
Aliens. Is there an aliens one? I need to look that up.
So, some mercenaries.
Oh, those things.
Saga. So, now, there's only one unit of mercenary hoplites in here.
Yet.
But this is the yet part. Because there's a lot of options. I thought Benjamin got a second. Let's go. There we go. So mercenary hoplites, they're all well and good, but I mean, there's room for aggressive expansion. Amanda, just saying. What else could we be having?
Aggressive negotiations? Siloi,
although I do dislike the word Siloi after having to deal with DBX at my local club for years. So, Samnites, you could do some Samnites. Tarantine Cavalry. Cretan Archers. Why have you not got Cretan Archers? I mean, that's a standard. 1.8 archers. It's just a pack of Cretan Archers directly from Foundry. Bam, you've done. Good times.
She says there's a lot more coming.
Good. Including Balearic Slingers. I know, obviously, Lloyd's attempting to conquer that area at the moment, but, I mean, there's always room.
Yeah, but he gets distracted the second there's another train coming.
That is very true. Well, or sometimes he doesn't.
Oh, speaking of, I failed to send him a link because Revell is doing a model train for a World War II steam engine. And I might have misread it, but I think it's approximately the right scale for his miniatures, but I didn't double check.
Tiny fighting men. Cretan Archers they're not quite ICBM level, but Jesus, they're bad. But thankfully, they're mercenaries, so you're only going to have to worry about one unit of them. And you just spend your rest of your time.
So the archers are basically filth? Fire ICBM.
Good save. Well done. I'm just saying. Well, I'll look forward to seeing what's coming for the Mercs, Amanda.
Payday, hopefully. Mercs want to be paid.
Just wait and see. Wait and see. I mean, I know they take a while to get them, mercenaries. And once you find some mercenaries and bought them, then it takes longer to get them to stop fighting. But October, I mean, 7 months. Scare some of them up. Let's give them a gentle nudge.
You want them to die in battle so you don't have to pay them.
You're fucking right, yes. 100%.
Also, might I
I
add...
still think that should go the other way, by the way. I still think that you should lose, because they have two types of objective pointing. You've got massacre points and survival points, and depending on the scenario, it can be one or the other. So massacre comes down to obviously how much of your opponent you kill. Survival comes back to how many of your men survive. And I think mercenaries should count opposite. So
if you survive, you get minus points because you have to pay them.
Because you have to pay them, yep. And
if they get slaughtered, they add to your chest.
Yeah, well, add to your opponent's type of thing, yeah. Anyway, but that's just a personal thing.
And as a final word on this project from Manda,
Yes.
might I say I really like the backdrop with the overgrown statue and things.
Romans think of the house.
That's also.
Presumably some sort of big godlike thing.
Potentially, but there's no way we can see. It's cut off at the top.
Never find out what it was going to be. Just have to imagine. Imagine.
Statue of Athena.
Oh, there you go. Thought it might be something like that. Explains the big staff.
One final entry for today, and it's even more.
I thought I'd change things up a bit by doing some saga.
Apple Mac, progress with his Anglo-Saxons.
Yes, so there had been a bit of a pause while the family went on holiday. However, they have returned. And we've got another sort of week and a half's update. So he's doing this with his son. So some of the stuff he's painting, some of the stuff his son is painting in between homework. As they both put together their forces for classic saga, as I like to think of it. Classic. More words to read. Words are always great. So over the next 6 weeks, presumably we'll bring them up to the end of a spring clean challenge. We're there enough. They're aiming to have enough painted for a few games. I think at the rate at which they're painting, they'll probably be spot on by the time we hit there. So that's his son Anton's core warriors that he's painting up.
And they're making extensive use of contrast colors by the looks of it.
Yep.
Which is a total viable option if you need to get things done fast.
It's all about getting the stuff painted up. Speed, power, vegetables. Look, was that a German camo beige? It wasn't. It was Iraqi sand. I know that, but
yeah.
Also, have a beige off.
It should be brain matter beige, as we all know.
Well, not according to Only Paints. Just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, Hazy Boy's face in the bar after salute when I showed him that was a fucking picture, by the way.
Huh? You showed him what?
Only Paints.
Oh god.
Like, only fans for paints. Yeah, I really like Apple Mac's forces put together, making good use of the Vitrix plastics, so you can sort of do all regular infantry, half guard, go for your guns, get Dane axes up the wazoo, and look, filthy Normans. Normans, they go to the house.
Now write that 100 times. And if I ever catch you again, it's heads off.
Yeah. So as far as Apple Mac goes, he's just got one unit of Warriors, one unit of Levies, and he's done. And then his son just has to play catch up. So now, knowing Apple Mac, he probably already has terrain for this. But
Probably.
also knowing Apple Mac, he may well put some terrain together specifically for it. So I'll be interested to see that, because remember when he was doing his ECW a couple of years ago? He had that massive table. So I look forward to seeing the Let's Play, the battle port. It's all good in the hood.
And you know what?
What?
We
No
hit
cats?
that be the internet stays strong, and I still have some of my little brown juice.
Oh no! Oh my god! Hitler.
And you can't complain today. I behaved. I was
That is
reasonable.
true. Yeah. You weren't freaking out or anything.
Not yet, at least. So I think, since our touchy scripted 30 minutes
Oh,
up,
please.
I think we're going to call this a day.
Sure.
Or a night. And I thank everybody for being here and having a fun chat. And I thank Jerry for having his knowledge brought along.
Yeah.
Who cooked
Pleasure.
Laura Palmer? I don't know.
I do. He
I
hasn't seen series 3.
I need to.
For fuck's sake.
Also, I need to find avians.
Oh, Rumbly. Shay discovered that Bot Wars contains the Red Star State with their giant robot cyborg dinosaurs. And his first response was, why was I not informed?
Dinoborgs.
Don't worry, mate. I've already ordered them all. They'll be here in a few months.
But then they are yours and not his.
Well, yeah. Doesn't matter. I'm just slowly filling a shelf with Bot War stuff as I paint it. So,
and he is allowed to look at it.
He's trying to play against me. I'm very, very good like that. But anyway, right.
This is going to be it. We'll see you again next week. Have fun on Thursday with Paul's stream, and have a good one. Thanks, everybody. And hit the like and subscribe and... Oh, just fuck off.
Don't forget to tick.